Now, not everybody knows, but Dead Poets Society is actually a fascinating work. It's a story about a group of people who stumble into a room and find a whole bunch of massacred poets, and then a mystery evolves in which, why does your laptop keep unplugging? And eventually they find out that the culprit
Because your leg is right next to the plug.
Yes. Tom's cord is bullshit and is latched around my chair. So that might not be what Dead Poets Society is about, but it could be, and would be awesome.
In the alternate universe, in which the Rising Film section, in this alternate universe, think about this. Sunset Rising Productions is the greatest media source of all time. It's bigger than Time, it's bigger than Newsweek, it's bigger than PBS. Oh, obviously. No.
How do you know this?
And like the Twitter page was actually created by Kobina, and it's just huge. And every time we make a running joke, yeah. My Guardian's article had 730.
Nice.
I know, but Sunset Rising Productions is the greatest thing of all time. But but the servers go down one day, and then in order to save the servers, Umar has to send back the Rising Gaming section that does nothing back in time to go save the server, and Mosin accidentally opens the portal and releases this unseen Dead Poet Society Agatha Christie movie into our society.
And it was awesome.
It was like 5 stars. It was the winner. It beat Godfather for the Oscar in '72. It was the movie. It was the last movie. Stanley Kubrick directed it. It was super 10 out of 10 would bang. That might be the stupidest thing I've ever said in the history of life.
But it was funny.
It was. It was creative as dicks.
The other Dead Poets Society, which we all remember, is the 1989 American drama film Dead Poets Society, directed by Peter Weir, starring Robin Williams as a teacher who begins to implement change through his teachings of poetry, and that causes problems. The script was originally written by Tom Schulman and is based on his life at a prep school in Nashville. The film was nominated for 4 awards, including Best Original Screenplay, which it won at the 1990 Academy Awards. And I'm being a pro for keeping my eyes strictly glued to the piece of paper in front of me.
You are so professional.
Voted the film's catchphrase, Carpe Diem, the 95th most inspiring movie quote of all time, which is funny because that's a Latin phrase which goes back to roughly the age of the Roman Empire. So I'm not sure why. It can't be the only movie to have Carpe Diem in it. Seize the day.
What's funny is that I included AFI in each of our intros, but AFI is like the biggest piece of junk when it comes to making lists. Like, they are so terrible at it.
Makes sense, because I immediately found a hole in that one. Anyway,
Yeah.
Carpe Diem, seize the day. In other words, a kind of, ironically, kind of an intelligent way of saying YOLO.
Dude, YOLO!
I mean, go out there and make the most of today, because you don't know if you'll have it tomorrow.
It was YOLO before YOLO.
Pretty much.
Dude, YOLO.
It was YOLO when YOLO had class.
YOLO.
So all you people who say YOLO out there, go around saying Carpe Diem.
Can I say Dude YOLO one more time? Dude YOLO!
Inspire faith in the younger generations by making yourself sound knowledgeable and badass.
Well, think about it this way: the version for "I'm sexy and I know it" from the 18th century is "I'm physically attractive and aware of this statement." Just like,
which actually sounds more Bob.
It totally does. But then there's no way you can say wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yeah, that's also, by the way, if you ever have time, go find what's his name, Jimmy Fallon and Bruce Springsteen. They went in, and Jimmy Fallon's playing Neil Young, the guy who created the.
Is this the "I Want to Bang Your Sister" skit? Because that was hilarious.
Sort of. He's got like the harmonica, and like he sounds like Neil Young, and it's like they cover "I'm Sexy and I Know It," and like it's like "I'm sexy and I know it," and then like Bruce Springsteen will come in, wiggle, wiggle, yeah. It's like the funniest thing. Whip my hair is better.
I don't even know
whip your hair, whip your hair, whip my hair. It's really funny.
And that's why Carpe Diem.
Dude YOLO.
No for life to that.
No for life. Did you just give me the finger?
Yes. On internet television.
Why would you do such a thing? Come on.
Because that was horrible.
No, but
that
Dead Poets Society. Okay.
Dead Poet Society was a good movie. Let's just start off by saying that. It was
Dead Poet Society is
well
a
told.
masterpiece.
Like I saw all the troubles in the movie coming a mile away, but
Here's the thing.
that wasn't really a fault with the movie itself. Like you know what the problems are going to be.
Here's the thing about Dead Poet Society. Yes, it's one of those feel-good slice of life films, but who is the villain in Dead Poet Society?
Yeah, again we're kind of.
It's so.
Again, we're getting into the whole black and white issue where it's like, the established way of doing things is completely bad and evil and wrong, and the new way of doing things is completely right and correct. And everyone should do things the new way, and no one should do things the old way because that's wrong. And it's simplistic.
No, but
It's
here's the thing.
frustrating
Here's
in
the
that
thing
way,
about.
because they could have said a lot more.
Here's the
with
thing
that.
about Dead Poet Society. That villain is liquid. There is no real villain of this movie until the last 15 minutes. Like it's kind of so ebb and flow, and like you can see. Well, you could say, well, the dad is this villain. It is the dad is the villain, but you also see how much the dad cares for his son for most of the movie. Even when he's being an asshole, it's because he knows that this is what's best for his son.
Which is intelligent. There's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And you can see that he cares so deeply about Neil that he just doesn't know how to express it in a better way.
I'm going to say this. They should just scrap the whole thing with the society. Like, no, keep the Dead Poet Society as it is. Scrap the whole thing with the school board coming in and being bitchy.
Yeah, the movie should end with...
It should have just been a struggle between a teacher and a parent trying to do the right thing. Because they're both trying to do the right thing.
I mean, and you think about the last 15 minutes of this movie where they all stand at the desks, though. The last 5 minutes of this movie, they're all standing at the desks.
That's the icon moment
It's
of the movie.
so kind of brilliantly amazing, even if they do have to do some really cliche and boring things to get there.
Yeah, let's face it. That ending was cheesy.
But it works.
But it worked.
It's so...
Like, you felt something there.
You're like, oh
Even
my
though
God.
part of you is rolling your eyes, the rest of you's
You
like, this is
recognize...
still awesome.
You're like, oh my God, he
This
changed
is the
their
scene
lives
the movie
so
needed.
much. This is what this movie needs. This is where it should end. Please end here. And it does end there. And I don't know. I love Peter Weir. Like, I really do.
It's good. I don't like the struggle with this. I like that ending scene because the movie needs it.
Yeah.
You need to see not only that you have two people on opposite sides of the spectrum trying to do the right thing, and then you need to see the students to show you what they've chosen by the end of the movie, essentially. Because they should have left it like that because there is no right answer to this question.
And the movie doesn't try and suggest that there is one, which is...
Well, they do.
They kind of do, but at the same time...
the whole thing with the school board.
Yeah, at the same time, though, that the movie isn't too over the top about it.
No. Patch Adams was much more over the top with it.
And you think about it, too, the only reason the school board gets really, really involved with the issue at hand is because one boy killed himself.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Right? Like, if you think about it...
in case it's justified.
Yeah, if you think about it, the school board would have just left everything alone, other than the weird Dalton scene where Nawanda kind of writes the article saying that they should have girls at Welton and does the shitty phone call thing. But Williams comes in and tells them to knock that off and just go back to being normal kids. Like, enjoy life, but don't be an asshole is kind of what he says in that scene. And they go back to doing that. It's only once Neil dies that the school board has to step in and take action, and they do.
Yeah, sure. I'd forgotten about that, to be honest.
And they do, and...
in that case, it's mainly appropriate, although I would have preferred, again, to show a bit more depth on the school board. I mean, they're only in there for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They only need to be in there for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And if they come at it from the angle as, we have kids killing themselves, and that's kind of a problem.
And you think about it, though, as somebody in education, I recognize that that's actually a really realistic situation. That in no way would Robin Williams' character be allowed to keep his job after that.
Not.
In no way. Especially the parents are like, well, we don't know where he got this acting bullshit from. We think it's from this teacher. We have no idea. And
no. But what I was going to say in between the struggle between the dad and Williams is, as much as we'd like to gripe and like, oh, they should do this or they should do that, what seems blatantly obvious from the bulk of kind of evidence and theories we have going on so far is we don't know the best way to teach people. We just don't. We know ways of teaching people that have kind of worked and kind of haven't worked. And we leave a whole bunch of onus on the students to figure out their own way. But there is no 100% silver bullet for everyone out there to get them to learn everything and all be happy in life.
I mean,
And I appreciate that the movie doesn't try to suggest there is. Instead, is focused around just this problem. That we have a problem.
I mean, there's lots of people who learn, and this is one of the things I've learned through my classes in education with like about pedagogy and shit. It's like, yeah, there's some people that learn through doing things creative, through getting up and doing motions and and building muscle memory will help them memorize something, right? Like,
yeah.
And there's some people who do it through just route memorization. They just have to write it down 30 times. There's some people who can do it through lyrical memorization. There's ways that people learn, and the thing that Williams does is he doesn't actually, what he teaches them isn't actually about English. What he teaches them is about life.
Yes.
And in a lot of ways, that's the true goal of teaching, is to teach your pupils about life. And Carpe Diem, as silly as it is such a easily understandable statement.
The reason people still say YOLO is because, like it or not,
I mean, YOLO's,
reinvent it as you want.
I mean, YOLO's kind of a bastardized version of Carpe Diem.
Well, where I'm going is, it's been reinvented to try and sound hip for the younger generation. I don't care what you say. That's what's happened, guys.
Dude, YOLO.
But at the end of the day, Carpe Diem is still a true phrase. Seize the day still has a wisdom and a value to it that we as a society have kept around long enough to change into things like YOLO.
Hell, like, the reason we're talking about this right now is because I said, well, shit, I want to make a film podcast, let's make a film podcast. That's the whole reason we exist. Like, and, I mean, that kind of idea can open you up to so many new doors, and that's what Dead Poet Society is about.
Yes, I'll agree with that completely. Put another way, you can't succeed in anything you don't participate in. Yeah.
Like, it's about, you got to be open, you got to participate, and that's so well seen through the arc of Todd Anderson. I think it's Ethan Hawke, is it? Is that Ethan Hawke? It is Ethan Hawke, isn't it? Let me open that up. I'm pretty
Wasn't he from, like, Mission Impossible or something like that?
No, it's Ethan Hunt is the character in Mission Impossible. Okay. Ethan Hawke is in the Before series and a lot of really, really bad movies. Before series. Directed by Richard Linklater. It's this guy.
It's this guy.
It's this guy. Yo, what's with his hair?
His face.
Oh my God, what is with his hair? Yeah, he's Todd in Dead Poet Society. Yeah, Ethan Hawke.
Yeah. Who the hell's Todd again? Is he the one that kills himself?
No, Neil is the one that kills himself. Todd is the one that's his roommate.
Okay, I don't really remember. It's been a while.
You didn't rewatch this for the podcast, did you?
No.
Yeah, of course you did.
I remember most of the movie.
But
I'm not going to remember a character.
Todd is the one that goes from being a super shy boy that kind of doesn't participate to being the first one to stand on the desk.
Yeah.
In that film, and his arc is that he realizes that if I'm going to seize the day, I know I'm a shy kid. I know
it's going to be that much more effort, but I have to do it.
But I have to do it because I have to open myself up to people and create real relationships.
Yeah.
And
sorry, guys, but most things in life you won't succeed if you don't. The world's not very kind to introverts.
Lol. See, Michael, it's a good thing you're an extrovert. Otherwise, this podcast wouldn't exist. You remember the first day you met in film studies class?
Well,
you said hi to me. I was not going to talk to anybody. I was going to just sit there and be like, I'm just going to watch these movies and enjoy watching movies. And you're like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, hi. I have no idea who you are. Please don't hurt me. And then it turns out you were this awesome dude.
Well,
and
the truth is,
I got lucky. But
I know all the introverts are going to come after me and say, you don't understand how hard it is. I'm actually something of an introvert. I'm an introvert that tries very hard to be an extrovert. Because I have to, because of my dreams, I need to do things like lead teams.
And network.
You have to make friends because no one wants to go to university with no friends. And to do that, you have to be an extrovert. People may come to you once in a while, but not very often. So I understand the struggle. That's exactly why I'm saying this, and I'm saying that this statement has value. Because to a degree, you do have to push yourself. You do have to try and force yourself to go out there and be something that you don't always feel like you are.
How did we get talking about extroverts versus introverts? Like, I'm just thinking about the origin of this conversation right now, and I have nothing.
Because Todd's character is essentially that arc personified.
Todd, yo. Dude, where's Todd?
No, but that's just it, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's talking about life wisdom. He's talking, and it is the catchphrase of the movie, is Carpe Diem.
Seize the day.
Seize the day. Take control of your life. Yeah. Don't let your life take control of you.
And I mean, what's also great about this is that each of the boys has an arc.
Yes.
And They all
Which
have an arc.
admittedly is
Even
difficult to balance.
Meeks has an arc. Like, if you think about it, like, even this super nerdy character that it was mostly just used for comic relief has an arc. Everybody has an arc in this movie. And
yeah, he becomes a kung fu
it's actually
fighter
kind of,
by
as
the
weird
end.
as it is. Yeah, of course he does. He goes on to become a ninja. He
No,
realizes, what it is he
after
realizes.
Dead Poets Society, Meeks becomes the lead character in Double Dragon.
What actually happens is he.
No, but that'd be hilarious.
That would be awesome. What actually happens is he gets abducted by the Kree and becomes Richard Rider and the Nova. So that's exactly what happens to him. You have no idea what I just said, do you?
No.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of the strength of Peter Weir's films is that he does really good arcs. You look at something like Truman Show and Truman has a real arc. You look at Picking a Hang Rock, the characters have a real arc in that movie.
I like arcs.
Hashtag arcs, yo. Ark of the Covenant, Noah's Ark, Arc Reactor, all kinds of arcs. Arcs for life. Anyways, what do you rate Dead Poet Society out of 5?
You know what? It had its cheese moments, but you connected with everyone. I mean, not so much the school board, but you connected with Robin Williams. You connected with the teacher trying to get his students more than just the rote course, curriculum.
Yeah.
But trying to teach them something about life itself, something that they would all benefit from. You see the well-meaning father who's concerned about his kid's future and I believe he's worried that his kid just won't have time to take poetry.
Well, his kid, he's worried about it's something that kind of really connected to his character as a parent because he totally just wants what's best for his son.
Yeah.
And the issue is the only thing he sees that's best for his son is medicine.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the only thing.
He's not just drunk, abusing you guy father for the sake of having him.
He really cares
He's
about
actually
Neil.
a person.
He really cares about Neil. He just
And the
doesn't know how to
characters in the
express
film
it properly.
all go through an arc as well. And you see that. I've seen this in people too. But it would be very hard for me to sit down and tell to them exactly how they've changed from a class. But there's an intrinsic value in education beyond simply being educated. And that's kind of what this movie is aiming at in soul, if not said explicitly.
Exactly. So, out of 5, you got a number?
Out of 5, you're right. I didn't even measure it. No, I'm going to give it... I'll hand out that many 5s. I'm going to give this movie a 5. I would not watch this movie every day. I'd probably watch this movie once or twice. But it has a lot to say, and most of what it says is delivered very intelligently.
I mean, I gave it a 5 because I think that it does something that no other slice of life feel-good movie does, in that it doesn't devolve into a shitty good versus evil conflict.
Yeah.
It manages to keep itself complex and about the message before it is about how do we tell the story. And I think that's
quite
kind of amazing if you think about it, right? Like,
they don't just say
schoolboy
way good,
schoolboy bad.
Eat good, not bad. Life problems equal solved. Because no one's life goes that way.
And it doesn't try to say that it does, and that's what makes Dead Poet Society kind of the masterpiece that it is.
Agreed.
Now let's move to.
This is done.
Oh my gosh.